outside is fairly unremarkable. Inside, it's retro heaven. You can imagine some rip-roaring rock and roll parties taking place here at this working men's club in North London. It's also the home to some rather offbeat decorations and this painting. The Chinese Girl by the Russian artist Vladimir Tretchikoff. Instantly recognizable, it's one of, if not the most, reproduced art print in the world. We found it in some eclectic locations. Burlesque star Tricity Vogue is so enamored with the image that she's turned herself green as part of her cabaret act at the prestigious Edinburgh Festival. Vogue's inspiration is instilled pride of place on her bedroom wall and in magnet form on her fridge. And in North England hangs this canvas made from around 3,000 postage stamps. Tretchikoff was born in Russia in 1913, but during the revolution a few years later he fled with his parents to the Chinese part of Manchuria. As a youngster he started scene painting at his local opera house, later moving on to political portraits and cartoons. Tretchikoff was living with his family in Singapore in the 1940s when Japan was invaded and he was captured. His wife and daughter were evacuated to an unknown destination. But several years later, Tretchikoff tracked them to South Africa, where he lived the rest of his life. It was there in the early 1950s that he painted the original Chinese Girl, the image that made him famous and rich. We're in a working-class suburb here in Germiston, about 30 minutes away from Johannesburg's city centre. In this house, we're hoping to find the Mona Lisa of kitsch art. Her identity has been a mystery for decades. Let's go and find her.
Hi!
Monika Pon was just a teenager when she met the self-taught artist Tretchikoff. She was working in her uncle's laundry in Cape Town when a customer, a Russian ballet dancer called Maria, brought the two together.
He said to me, "Hello." I said, "Hello." He said, "I'm Tretchikoff." Oh. I would like to paint you. Would you like to sit for me? He picked me up straight after work, at my work at the laundry. We entered this little room of his, and he's got about 14, 15 pupils, all learning to paint. So he was, I'll tell you, he was sitting here on the chair, and I was sitting on a slightly raised little thing there, like a little stage, and behind him was all his pupils. They were allowed to see what he's painting, but not me.
It must have been for you a wonderful opportunity.
No, not really.
No.
He wasn't famous. People hardly knew him.
It wasn't until the 1960s and 70s that Tretchikoff's iconic portrait became fashionable. Cheap copies popped up everywhere. Tretchikoff was slated for commercializing art, but the masses loved his prints. For Monika back then, it was just an interesting experience. Today, she relishes the memories. We're sitting here at your kitchen table, looking at pictures of yourself from 60 years ago. And it's absolutely uncanny in a sense, isn't it? I mean, the fact that it was ever a mystery, that people wondered who that was.
Yeah.
It's not in doubt, is it, when you look at that picture?
This is actually taken on the day when the Chinese Girl was completed.
You're striding purposefully down the road in Cape Town. Did you have a sense that your life might change?
No, I was just thinking of the painting.
As a Chinese girl in the era of apartheid, life wasn't too kind to Monika. You were still considered a second-class citizen. You weren't white.
Yeah, non-white. As a child, I felt very ugly because at home they used to tease me always, you know. Always say, flat face, black face.
Monika later married and had children, but she spent most of her life in poverty, working as a seamstress and in a fish and chip shop. She didn't see or hear from Tretchikoff for decades, until she looked him up shortly before he died in 2006.
I liked him very much. He was such a comic, I tell you. He used to make me laugh all that. I've got pictures I can show you the way we laughed. Yes, he made me laugh all the time. That's why I liked him. And then I said to him, you used to dance very nice. Do you remember? He looked at me and I said, jitterbug. And he went, he could still dance.
While her memories are fond, Monika's take on the painting is not so complimentary. And what's your first instinct when you see it? What's your first reaction?
Green face.
It's not known why Tretchikoff kept the details of his model so secret. Some say he feared being sued for its earnings. Monika didn't want to discuss that. She's just enjoying her moment in the limelight.